and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light. Battling communists with cheer, reduces courage, knows no fear. With every clash and mighty roar, victory's prize forevermore. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light. Battle anchor shift us soar, reducing its heart and core. Galactic winds, they lead our course. Unity, our driving force. Unity, our driving force. OPC hunts, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light. Unity, our driving force.
All right, gotta turn the music down. There we go. There we go. Knock it down to normal decibel levels. All right, we're here. Star Trek Fleet Command. It's technically not 6 years yet. For those that don't know, the anniversary is on the 9th or 29th. So we are still technically 9 days away, but that means more celebrations, more things, including a leaderboard that is basically just bragging rights, but you get an avatar. So that's cool. It kind of hopefully guarantees most people get the avatar. I don't know. But anyway, it's there. Welcome in. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. And we shall talk about all the things. Samo, good to see you, ma'am. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you're feeling well. And also, you are wonderful. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right. That's a decent intro to the stream. Thank you, Too Cold. I'm glad that time was primo. Appreciate it. Welcome in. So let's go over, I guess, a few different things. I also have the old task list. Now, this is something that we'll be working on updating. For those that remember, I was updating it like live during streams and stuff last time around. Let me get this up on the screen so everybody can take a look at it. Just gotta find it. Where is it at? There it is. All right, now I just gotta actually make it to where you can see the entire thing. And there we go, Q-Snap. So we have this. Now, this is gonna have to get updated and worked on and tweaked, etc. Now, we do still have the Alliance Tournament task list. Most of these will be the same. There are some that have changed, if you remember from the actual article and patch notes that we had here in the month. We're going to get some more added in that hopefully help with the free-to-play grind of it. And I'm also curious to see how the rewards points themselves will have changed. If you look over on the right side, the hostile grind task, those had some negatives in that you weren't getting the reward loot. You were simply getting the ranking loot, as in what you needed to raise the rank of your alliance, but you weren't really getting anything for actually doing it. You know, the tournament creds. Whereas other events did get tournament credits, and some just simply either got none or an extremely low amount based on what you're doing. So like this was a 10K event, but you only got 825 of the tournament credits. So my hope is to see changes like that made so that players can have more enjoyment. And if you are a grinder, not getting punished for it, saying, hey, your effort is not worth as much as somebody just, you know, swiping your credit card. We'll see what it ends up looking like, but that is still good news because that means we are getting Alliance tournaments back sooner than expected. This is why everybody was asking Rev, do you have a date? And I never like to commit because they specifically said multiple times, yeah, we're not doing that in November. And then what did they do? Hey, November. So that's how it goes. That's how it rolls in Star Trek Fleet Command land. I think most of us who have been here these 6 years are probably used to it. So yeah, that's woo, good stuff. Edward says, I unlocked Naga Delvos. Is that because my alliance rocks? What event is she from? That is from your daily claim, Edward. And you're getting that based on where you and your alliance have attained in the Emerald chain. So you see, if you are here, which is where I'm at level 6, you're getting 2 a day. So I have as well unlocked her. Now she's just sitting in my officer list. I haven't really done anything with her, but that is how you obtain as part of the Emerald chain. You can see here's mine, haven't even leveled up, but below decks increases base repair cost efficiency of the ship, has an officer ability increasing base damage to the Borg cube cutting beam against players, and last but not least, cube triangulation, increasing the cost efficiency of the Borg cube's transwarp jump. So it is an officer that has all 3 levels of abilities. Not necessarily super exciting for a lot of players, but that's still unique and cool. And then in terms of the traits they have, Marksman, Genius, and Rogue, not ones that I use a ton, but you know, there are some events in the away teams that you could use that for. But that is how you obtained Naga Delvos, and that is ideas of the basics of how to use them. Afternoon, Raj, great to see you. Welcome in. G Child said, let them know players don't like buying stuff unseen. If they want money, show what we get. G Child, now I agree with you, but here's my rebuttal to that. Ignorance drives spending in these games, and it does. Now, you being a 200 IQ person, you don't get foiled by that. Like, you don't get lured in, reeled in with the fish rod, whatever cliche we want to use. Now, the smooth brains like me, we tend to just be like, okay. That's why I don't do that. I'm just making an example. But in a lot of games, they'll use similar tactics of not giving all the things out. A little bit of mystery, if you will. Add a little spice to your pack buying. And I don't know, my metaphors and stuff are all over the place today. Similes, it's like an ass. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you. And that's one of the reasons I don't typically buy anything. But that just is how it is. And I buy things here and there, but only things I know exactly what it's going to do and how it's going to benefit me. Well, good to see though, by the way. Vasuba, that's really weird. They rather upset people last week and they were like, no tournaments for the foreseeable future. People got so mad, then days later, they're like, oh yeah, it's in a few days. Now, look, I can't speak to that. All I can do is, repeat what has been said, and there will be things behind the scenes that get rumbled and rumors that start even for us that we won't have confirmed, right? Like I can see, like, for example, I know what's coming next month, right? It's like, I know what's coming in December. However, Scopely has not had their official meeting with the content creators. So even though there are those of us who already know what's coming, we can't talk to them about it because they have like a very strict, unless we've released the information to you personally or publicly, we refuse to acknowledge that the information exists. So that exists in every layer, whether you're just a regular player and you're like, hey, I want more transparency here, or even if you're a content creator who works with them and you want more transparency, it's still completely on their terms. And that's just how they operate, right? And it's their prerogative to operate that way. Completely okay. And you just have to work around it. It just is what it is. Moose, good to see you. Another one of our Twitch content creators. We got Samo and Moose in here. For those of you who really enjoy Star Trek Fleet Command, but more importantly, you like Star Trek Fleet Command because of the community of Star Trek Fleet Command, I strongly encourage you hang out with us on Twitch. We have a lot of players who are now streaming and sharing their experiences with the game and building their own amazing communities. And I personally fully support that. I think that's amazing. So if you do want to just get outside of like just, hey, we're staring at events and doing the same thing every day, and you want to really dive into more to the community aspect of this game, check out a lot of the great people we have who are streaming and talking about the game on Twitch, and you might even learn a thing or two. Maybe. Gary, by the way, says, I can't even do arenas because there's only 5 or 6 of us above 50. They're not online, so them changing stuff means I can't add lower players. So Gary, what could benefit you? I know this isn't about Alliance tournaments, is if you remember in the video that I put out last week, they are going through a lot of arena changes. One of the biggest arena changes coming in December, at least planned for December. They've already talked about this, so I'm not releasing any information, Scopely. I know their ears perked up when I talked about knowing next month. So they're going to release, at least the plan is in December, an ability just like Waves where you can get anybody from your server to join in with you. Now, me personally, I would rather be with an alliance of players that I know that I've run with, and that way I have the best chance of winning. But if you are a player that is in a position where you don't get to just do arenas, like Gary, then it would be very beneficial to use that type of mechanic, and that's something they've already announced they're working on and or will be releasing. So for you, Gary, that's good news, meaning you would be the benefactor of that and be able to participate in arenas. Whether you like it, I can't guarantee. I just have to hope that you enjoy it and that feature helps you. So you won't have to keep changing alliances every dang Monday. Yeah. Look, I'll admit that happened to me. I don't know if it's still in my chat logs because, Scopely, it's not. Okay. Anyway, but I had somebody from my old alliance contact me like, hey, why did you leave? And I said, well, the reason I left was for arenas. I went to an alliance that is far more active in PvP and arenas, and that was just a personal choice. Nothing against the alliance that I left. There weren't a bad group of people. It's just about what features are important to you. And this would be good because this helps a lot of those smaller alliances stick together and not have to feel pressured to leave and join other groups. And sure, I always talk about that. I think strategically, it's best for your account to be in the highest level alliance you can, etc. At the same time, you should do what's fun for you. And if you personally enjoy the group you're with, then we need to see if we can find ways to help you be with that group. And well, this is helping that. Hopefully people enjoy it. We'll see how it works though. Again, I've been really big on this the past 2 months. Until I see a mechanic and use it in game, I'm not going to hype it up. I don't want to get everybody's hopes up or just say, hey, this is the plan. We'll see how it rolls out. So yeah, let's see. Got my 5-star parts reduction. Arenas are dead to me now. I love PvP in other games. It doesn't have the same feel here. Well, sorry you don't enjoy it, MT. I would say that there's far more valuable things than just the parts reduction. So you might want to keep doing some more, but that's up to you. For example, one of the main favors that I'm grinding after is getting 28,000 Syndicate XP every single day. I mean, that's worth it to me. But if it's not worth it to you, I respect it. So do what you enjoy and what you find value in, and things that you don't, then don't do them, right? Got to find whatever it is that you enjoy, and don't feel bad if you don't do something or enjoy something. If you say, hey, I think Alliance tournaments are stupid, or arenas are stupid, or Mining Monday is stupid, then don't do it. Doesn't matter what you're missing out on. At the end of the day, this game is about fun, because it is a game. If you're not having fun, well then dang it, stop. Just go do something else. It'll be okay. I promise you. I fully encourage the doing something else method of gameplay. Let me swap some crews around while we chat, because I got to go grind. Oh no, Harrison. Where is he? Well, I might be able to still do it. We'll see. We'll see. General annoyance, we talked last week and went from 45 in-game to 21 now in arena. Thanks to some of your tips in the video you posted. Level 44. Well, congrats, Anthony. I'm glad that somebody who was already doing what I would say pretty well was able to have that and get better. Well, look at me. You make me feel I'm getting a little bit of a big head now. Like that's pretty daggum cool. Like you were already a top 50 player and I made you a top 25er and you're level 44. I've got a big old head now. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. It's very kind of you to let me know that sometimes I do make good videos. It's rare. Sometimes it happens. I do appreciate that. All right. Preacher says, don't forget your daily store claim. Thank you for that. If that is, just go ahead and post that as a reminder to everybody so they can hear it. Do your mission keys. Get that daily claim in. Obviously helps out your group and your alliance. So if you haven't already, go get it in. I'm going to try this without Harrison. And we're going to run it just because I got the Monavine out and I don't want to worry about it. So I should be fine here. But let's just go do that farm so I can get my refineries in. Yeah. Now, Leonard says the biggest issue in the game right now is lag as it relates to arenas, waves, and incursions. I think there's definitely truth to that. The lag has gotten worse over the past 3-ish months, and that's shown in the surveys. And when they did their big Unity update, it drastically improved, and it does seem to have had issues here and there. In the most recent one we did, let me actually pull up the delay numbers. 1 second. I actually forgot to upload this, so I can just upload it and then I can show y'all. But just give me 1 second. I forgot to do it yesterday. Myself and Archduke were talking about it. And again, shout out to the volunteer team that we have because without the volunteer team who goes through the grades with me and everything and puts together all the information, well, all I would have is those pretty pie charts for you. And those pie charts are great. Sometimes you need more than pie, right? I know, believe it or not, even with Thanksgiving coming up, sometimes you need more. Even Thanksgiving needs more than pie. All right, let's see. I'm going to 1 second, and then I'm gonna put this on the screen because I know y'all like it on the screen. All right, put that there, and these two move. All right. Man, changed up the colors and stuff. Okay, so here is the stability grading, which technically improved by a very, very, very slight amount in the most recent survey, but it's still not a good result. And let's see, does this window come up? Yeah, we can do it like this. That'll work. So here are the history of the grades. This is the stuff that y'all participate in. Remember, we don't get any of this unless y'all do the survey, so thank you to those who do. So you can see where they did the big update in terms of lag and improve things. It was right here all the way back in March. And there was a good 4 months where players were mostly happy. And then you see it just starts taking a dive. And there have been more recent, like mid-arc updates and stuff claiming to focus on lag. They've also been working with Redis and stuff, or Redis, however you want to pronounce it, with their AWS. And you can see the past few months have just not been very good. Last month, in terms of y'all's grading, was better, but a D is not sufficient, right? Like, I'll take C's because I understand there's always going to be just really bad scenarios. But as long as the swing percentage is good, that's what we typically look for. For those that don't know, the swing percentage is we're taking the positive votes and the negative votes and dividing by the total and seeing which direction are we moving. And you can see red moving in the wrong direction. So past 4 months, moving in the wrong direction. Hopefully, Scopely recognized this. Obviously, I try to share this information with them and let them know what y'all are saying. The good news is last month, Symbiosis Part 2, y'all seem to have liked the communication, the calendar, and the features, but you didn't give a flying flip about the ship. The Vindicator got really bad scores. The Vindicator got the worst scores ever in the history of ship scoring for surveys. That's the worst. The Vindicator is officially the least liked, coming after a ship that was liked, which was the NSCA. So there you have it. If y'all want this, I can always share this in the Discord and everything. I don't want to leave it up on the screen the entire time, though. Yeah. The best arc this year, according to the survey, is going to be this month. I can already tell you that answer, MT. That's going to be this month. The best arc going by the survey, I would say is probably, if we're limiting it to this year, it would either be last month or probably May. Probably May, which was the ISO refinery and stuff like that. Xborg expansion back in January is also one that was pretty well received. But just kind of, but May is probably the one that has the most. And the way that I would probably use that as the example is because we had that quality versus quantity question people always respond to. And that one has the highest response in terms of quality. So yeah, there you go. There you go. Does the Sarco is no longer the worst ship released? No, the Sarco is. Remember, my survey only covers ships since we started the survey, which was back in January 2023. So, no, it does not surpass the Sarco. Sarco still lives as the worst. All right. I've been using method of getting patterns and maxing out an officer every Borg event. Are they doing that this year? No idea. No idea. Even with the bonus 6-year battle pass, we still don't get a rare air unlock. I mean, the 6-year battle pass just lets you get the battle pass completely all at once. I mean, if they think that's like a big hoopla, that's cool. I don't see the point in buying that, but that's me. Maybe if you just have missed a week and you want to get everything, there you go. There you go. I do want to see what people say about the actual method, the choice method this month. And then obviously with arena tournaments, with Alliance tournaments coming back, I'll be able to include in this month's survey your thoughts on the Alliance tournaments improvements as well as the arena improvements. So very curious to see what people think on that as well. This is going to be, in my expectations, probably the best received month of the year. Now, if it's not, I will gladly eat crow and say, hey, y'all hated it. I'm acknowledging it. Doesn't matter if Rev liked it. But just going by everything done, I would like to see, with the exception of probably stability, lots of green on the survey this time around. Not that I'm trying to, influence y'all. I just think that they actually did good this month. So we'll see if y'all end up agreeing with me. IT Vegas saying the choice method was wonderful. We did an informal poll about a week ago on Twitch with only the people that were there, and it was 85% liked the choice rewards method and 15% didn't. And while I'm not trying to say their 15% disagreeing didn't matter, that definitely shows that a lot of people are favorable to the choice system. So you dare me to eat crow, not saying it actually tastes nice though. You know what, Brigadier? Maybe we can make it happen. Who knows? Good to see you, Reginald. Welcome in. At Ops level 55, what strength level should I be? I'm currently 240 million. So should you be is such a relative question. Yeah. Number one, what style player are you? So I can give you this example. The strongest players that aren't dev accounts at level 55 are well over 300 million, right? Well over 300 million. But if you're around, you said 240, you're still pretty strong for that level. You're just not at the top. One thing that I like to do, if we're talking about, hey, where do I want to be, top 100, etc. I always want to be the best level on my server. And this is going after my own goals. And then I also want to be at least on the top page. So like if my top, it's like right now, we'll just put it on the screen. We'll just put it on the screen. Use me as an example. 1 second. Let me set it up. So we'll go server 20 right there. So here's how I do this method. And again, you do not have to replicate this. This is a Rev thing. Y'all can play however you want. Remember, we interviewed JB and he doesn't care at all about this. But for me, I want to be, before I think about leveling up, I want to be the strongest person on my server for that level. I currently am here on server 20. However, where do I fall in terms of all 53s? Now, this also plays into it. Because if we're going by that, Rev is currently on the wrong page. Rev needs to get to page 1. So Rev is currently the 26th strongest in the game at level 53. I would personally like to be in the top 5. Ignore the dev account up here. Ignore Mal, the dev account, because that is clearly not a player. 1 alliance help sent, 30 missions, no assessment, 400,000 mine. That's clearly a dev account. Devs. So 187 is a dev server anyway. Anyway, just need to stop pulling those numbers. So I'm actually 25th. I'm in the top 25, but I would like to be higher. For you, you just have to find what works for you. At 240, you're in the top 50% for your level, but you're not in the upper percentage. So for me, I'd want to push higher. This comes back to what your personal play style is. Now, Caster's coming through saying this month's arc is so boring. See, and that's why I love being able to talk to as many players as possible, because I have faced what I would call is like overwhelming positivity about this month. So I actually need people who don't enjoy it to come through and say, hey, I don't like it. And I can be, okay, explain why, right? So it is good to have both of those perspectives. And I do hope, Castor, you participate in the survey that we do to wrap up this month. And that way we can show everybody what y'all think, because we've only got 5 days left. I mean, we're getting towards the very end. So only 5 days left. All right. Let's see. The choice system is in theory a great idea. In practice, I can't be bothered to work out how best to spend it. This is a me issue. It is. Here's what I would say for that. What do you need the most of? Just spam it. And if you miss out, the next time they do it, spam the one you missed out on. The only thing I can say about the choice method is please, 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 please do not hold on to them. Okay? Do not make the error in believing that Scopely is going to let you carry that on to the next choice event if they do another one. There's no guarantee they even do another one. So what I'm telling you is just please make sure you don't get so indecisive that you just don't do anything. Collect something. Pick one. Make a decision. Doesn't even matter if it's the right decision. Just don't get caught with an entire month's worth of battle pass rewards not done. All right? Just pick something. And if you don't feel like you made a best choice, at least you made a choice, right? Kev, great to see you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Says, I love the shows. Keep up the great work. I have a camping question. Is it still a thing? I'm level 49 with a tier 6 pylum at 88 million power. It absolutely is still a thing. And how it applies is all about your personal goals and milestones that you're setting. And that's something that I really try to push to players is you don't have to do it exactly like I do, but here are the reasons I did it this way and the reasons I recommend this, and find what works for you. One thing I will say is camping is even more alive today than ever if you're into PvP arenas. If PvP arenas has shown us anything, you are going to hurt if you level up too fast and do not have the strength to compete with players at your level. Now, again, if you aren't an arenas player, that really doesn't matter. Like if you don't care about that at all, you choose to ignore it, then that doesn't play into your thoughts and your strategies of how you're going to camp. However, if you're talking like, hey, I want to be a good example, and I don't want to call out individual people because I don't want to shame people. However, I just had this conversation with somebody on our Facebook page today, and they were saying, hey, I'm level upper 40s, biggest ship I have is 80 million, and I can't fight against these players, right? And then and they gave a specific example. So the only reason I'm using this is because they specifically said something, and then I happen to have the counter, and the counter is actually in this chat. So what ended up happening was they're saying, hey, I'm level 40, I think it was 47, 80 million pylum. I can't beat G5 players. And what did I have the ability to do? A level 46 player named Raj, who's actually here in the chat. I sent a screenshot of them destroying a level 55's 230 million power Vorcha. So it's just not that you want to shame people and say, hey, you're weak, you're strong. It's just knowing that there are drawbacks to different strategies that you choose in the game. And if you choose to, not do Rev's method, which is okay, maybe you don't become the strongest for your level. You're not focusing on as many things as possible, which means you are sacrificing your ops, but it means that generally whatever mechanic Scopely releases, you're going to be well prepared for, right? I am a strong 53, but I'm not an amazing 53, but I was able to punch up in arenas. The biggest kill I've personally had with my Vorcha is I killed a 1 billion power Rotaran, 1.1 billion. That's incredible. Not consistently something I can do, but it happened. So when we're talking about camping, is it relevant? Absolutely, depending on what you're trying to do as a player, right? Then it's finding what works for you and just catering it to yourself. Yeah. All right. Okie dokie. Hey, John, how are you doing? You killed a Rotaran with your Sanctus? Nice, Fenris. I did it with a Vorcha, so that just makes me feel like I'm better than you. And I'm going to brag about it because it's still one of the most blood-pumping, exciting things I've done in STFC this year. So, yeah, Rev's amazing. And that player's a really cool player. So, yeah. Speed Cruise, it happens. It happens. Anyway. Has anyone confirmed the choice rewards go up if you go up in ops before cashing out? I do believe somebody did test that already, and the answer was yes, Anton. I have not tested it myself. I know that question got brought up, and I believe we tested it, and the answer was yes. But now that I've said it, I'm second guessing myself. So if anybody has done it, wants to confirm, feel free. Feel free. Your job got terminated on Monday. I'm so sorry to hear that, John. That is really cruddy. Good news is it's going to open up a better opportunity for you. I believe that, and I'm going to speak it in your life. Love you, man. Appreciate it. Tibbs tested on stream. Tibbs is good people. Tibbs is good people. Your Rotaran kill had the Freeman crew, and you had a buff Sanctus. It's still impressive, Fenders. But you know what? I'm going to keep bragging about me more because I'm biased towards me. But that is awesome, Fenders. Congrats on your hit. So, yeah, congrats. Let's say I don't want to miss too many questions. Let me grab more. Ken Slayer says, I don't view it as camping. I view it as catching up. Camping to me implies that you are done with buildings and researches. If that's how you want to interpret it and define the word, that's fine. If you want to redefine camping compared to what somebody else's definition is, cool, whatever. I'm going to call that camping. And that's, if we want to argue terminology, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to argue terminology, it's whatever. But, that idea is still the same. Regardless of what we call it, you're working on becoming a better account for your sake. Now, I will say that I do personally max out my buildings before I level up, but I don't always max out my research. Buildings are just a lot easier to max out. For me, getting everything to 53, not counting, getting all your specialty buildings, which I am still working on, isn't too hard because there's, only 3 dozen of those compared to, I don't know, like 10,000 researches. But yeah, it's however you want to Go with that. Sure. Yeah. Sideburns gonna see 3/4 of every event every day as a spin event. That's not accurate. Look, I get being frustrated at Scopely, but let's be accurate with things, and that's not accurate at all. Rev could do his mess hall. I can, but I'm not. And some of you out there will understand why I'm not upgrading my mess hall. Some of you won't, and that's okay. 9 out of 10. Also incorrect, Sideburns. Again, if you want to be a hater, that's fine, but don't waste our time being a hater. That's why I made a venting channel on my Discord. If you just want to do that, it's not funny. It's annoying. Go somewhere else with that. And yes, mess hall is still at 69, Dustin. Sure is. Mess hall 69. Afternoon, Tim. Great to see you. How are you doing? How are you? Let me go ahead and get these collects in. See if I can get some more shards. And yeah, do your mess hall so we get the SOB tomorrow. No, I don't want to. Okay, look. Y'all can argue all day that the rewards are good, etc. And I'm not even saying you're wrong. But I, at heart, still have a little piece of me that's a child. And it's just, I giggle every time I see it at 69. I just do. Now you look at, the points that I have, plenty of points. Got over 1 million of the rations saved up. I definitely have the officers to level up if I wanted to, but it's at 69. And it's hilarious. I'm sorry. I just can't help it. I'm not telling y'all to save yours at 69. But it's hilarious. Did you get the 6-year battle pass? No, I don't buy that stuff. I don't buy that stuff. Anything gimmicky that comes out like, oh, buy me, I ignore. Besides, Scopely gives this account the battle pass every month anyway. And then on my 710 account and my, let's just do it by level. On my level 57 account, my level 24 account, my level 28 account, my level 14 account, etc. I didn't buy the 6-year battle pass. No. If you want to, more power. I don't. The second battle pass was a great value pack on top of the choice system and current syndicate event. There you go. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mr. MD. For me, not worth it. I don't buy gimmicky packs. No, thank you. Where's the 6A battle pass? It's in the store. Should be on your front page. If you haven't already purchased a BP, here it is for me. 6-year. Oh, this is the bonus one. Yeah. There you go. Not something I would buy, but that's just my personal decision. What's the battle pass about? It's a special battle pass to where it completes all the milestones at once. As in, if you have not done any of the work all month long, you buy the new battle pass and you get it. So, you buy the battle pass and you get it. You're talking about something else, Acom? Because that's what they put in the announcement. You get all the resources over again. Oh, it's a second set. So it's a twice one. Okay, still. There you go. I was incorrect. It's a second one. So you're buying 2 for 1. So here's my thoughts on that. It's basically the same thing that people complained about, which is running 2 battle passes in a month. Okay. I'm still not going to buy that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. I'm sorry. Even a month where I'm super happy with Scopely, I'm not doing their money grabs. Sorry, not for me. If it's for you, more power to you. More power to you. It's just not my thing. About 2,000 choice rewards tokens. Yeah. Again, if y'all want it for the value, more power. I don't. Here's why I don't like it. Scopely doing reactionary pack sales because they haven't gotten enough packs. I don't like to support that method. Why do I not like to support that method? Things like Grabthar's hammer and this one, which I was incorrect about, but basically a second battle pass. We get it. They're low on funds. They didn't hit certain markers, so they're releasing these like special packs. I would rather they just actually have things be good and balanced that we invest in every month because they're good and balanced than giving them cash grab packs. That's how I personally see it. I'm not going to reward that. Make the game good, make it worth investing in, and people will do it. You won't have to do grabs. That's just how I see things. Doesn't make my opinion right. It's just how I see it. So I don't invest in anything like that. I want something to be good and valuable, not need some flashy flash, and then I'll pay for it. That's just me. If you find value, thank you for correcting me because I was incorrect on what I thought it was. If you find value in essentially getting a second battle pass for 20 bucks, go for it. Go for it. So, Sugar Fat Man says, is the thing people complain about without free to play getting the extra rewards? Yeah, I mean, y'all remember we did that in the survey. I was curious of y'all's opinion, and people hated the second battle pass idea, like running 2 battle passes. So I'd actually prefer that premise because, again, at least everybody's getting a second free to play track. But yeah, this game is always going to rely on flashy things because that's just what these models do. It's what they do. Leonard says, of the 10,000 researches, which are the most important to finish? Since I've obviously haven't finished the right ones. Leonard, with there being 10,000, there's no way I can answer that question. I don't know where your account's at or what things you could be missing. Like, for example, I was talking to a level 66 a couple of weeks ago during arenas, and they were struggling in PvP, and I went down a list of items that, you know, high-end players would probably need to have bought to be competitive. This was actually last Tuesday. So Q Cannon, Tantalus Field, the Hull Breach Prime, you know, which is quite important in my opinion. I mean, those are probably like your top 3 PvP buys right now, not discussing buying and investing in officers. And they had only gotten one of those things. It just as an example. So it just depends on what specifically you're going for. You know, if you're going for what is best to buy every month, for example, well, that's always a battle pass, but there might be something that comes out this month that's worth it. So depends on where you're at. But Super says you're not wrong. Even with both passes, you still don't get a rare officer unlock, and those used to always be part of an arc free. It did used to be a pretty standard thing. The old form, and it's basically dead now. And for those curious, yes, content creators bring it up. Yes, we do try to tell them that that's how things should be, and I'm not saying that we're going to stop. However, the old path used to be if there was 2 rare officers in a month, one was guaranteed via the battle pass. It was essentially $20 would get it to you, and at times you could even get one free to play. If there was 2 rares, one would be free to play, the other would be paid. Well, we've long since abandoned that one, and typically what you have now is more epics than you do rares, and I hate that method, but it is what it is. Now, we did have 2 rares this month, but we had rare Qs and they were PvP officers. And PvP officers almost always are locked behind a paywall. A PvP officer comes out, especially in month 1, it's almost always going to be paywalled. Just kind of is what it is. So, not saying I agree, and I will continue to argue that it shouldn't be that way, but it'd be that way. So Bruce asking for clarification, the second 6-year battle pass gives you the same rewards as the current battle pass all over again for $20 more. Correct, Bruce. Correct. I was incorrect in my initial statement. That is correct. Thank you, Banga. Appreciate you so much for supporting me and my family. Thank you. Also, I give a thank you out to Clint because Clint also donated to Cash App. Thank you very much, Clint. I appreciate it. And you're welcome, Bruce. So I hope nobody feels like you have to follow Rev's path, by the way, just because I don't like certain structures they have. If you do find value in that $20 pass, one thing that we have said for a long time, we want more $20, $10 options in the game. So if you like that $20 buy, go for it. I just personally hate those style of buys, so I don't engage in them. Gary, thank you so much for gifting a membership to the channel to Dark Torch. I really appreciate that. Afternoon, Kal-El, welcome. So, welcome. Let's see. Hello for server 94, where there are more. Okay, Ulysses, I can't repeat that, so thank you. And Leonard, gotcha. Let's see. Gary, welcome in. Another Gary. Little annoyed that there are no Borg Q shards in the archive claims. Okay, that's random, but okay. Okie dokie. Why is that annoying? Just because you're on that, like you need that particular officer? Or. Oh, can't even look at that right now. My bad. I'm a spinner, but this 20 € one is by far the most profitable one in ages. Then go for it, Erwin. I'm not. I mean, short answer, Rev's not buying it. Y'all can absolutely buy it if y'all think it's valuable. Oh, I do have to pull up my 10 DAX shards for our anniversary present. Well, that's neat. Go ahead and claim this as well. That pad got you closer to unlocking Q. Lack of an SMS/HLB for sourcing last weekend was a bummer. Yep, but again, PvP officers are something that they have always put a very high premium on. So just something that should be anticipated. If you see PvP officers coming in a month, just know likely going to be a pretty high wall to obtain them. Yeah. All right, let's see. Trying to grab questions. I'm not buying it. I bought the first one because it had a Chaos Tech in it, but ACOM says you get the Chaos Tech again, which turns into currency for the Chaos Fragment exchange. Maybe not a huge selling point, but worth noting. Thank you, ACOM, hence me repeating it. You wish they would run Tau thing one more time? Yeah, every time I bring up Tau, they're really, really against heavily sourcing Tau because they don't want tiered up Taus out there. They don't want max Taus out there. I think that that thinking is kind of archaic. They very well could know things that I don't. I don't feel like some of the problems that you could do with Tau previously are available anymore, which were essentially exploits, but they still are not open to that. Hopefully that changes. You know, they were, not only were they against it talking to me, but they specifically told players all year long, we're not doing G5 scrapping. Absolutely not. And then this past week, if y'all saw the Q&A that I released, they're like, yep, we're going to work on that. So time can change all things. I just know I've been told all year long, no. Maybe we can try to work on that in 2025 and see what they say. Yeah. Red Nass is what, tell what you know about the Alliance tournament changes, and do you have a task list? The only thing I can tell you is what has already been publicly said in the patch notes yesterday. So I can bring that up real quick and show you. So you're going to have these new events. Where's this? There we go. You're going to have these new events. Mirror hostiles, mirror wave defense, defeating hostiles with Chaos Tech, which Raj can do because he spent money. G6 solo armadas, loot goblins, which are in mirror space, and upgrading new station buildings. And then they've edited these 5 tasks to make them easier to complete. That's all I can tell you. As far as the actual event list, we do still have this, and yes, we will be working on it, and we will be updating it as soon as the tournaments drop. Me and Quasel were going through this the last time tournaments dropped and manually updating it, and we'll be doing the same thing this go around. But in terms of any other, going any more specific than that, this is what I can tell you. So go ahead and snap that back off the screen so I can get back to farming these battleships over and over again. Over and over. Anyone seen a method to get the new Chaos Tech released today? The interphasic mirror. All Chaos Tech right now is pay only. Bacon. Gary says, I think it's the first time I've seen a loop in the game that goes nowhere without a money spin. Very irksome. Noted. Okay. Paula, good to see you. Since I can spend the additional materials the way I want with the second battle pass, I'm able to get the mats I need to fill up the ISS jelly and make her a farm. Super happy. Well, congrats, Paula. That's awesome. That is fantastic. That reminds me, I need to finish leveling up my ISS jelly for the farm. I do have one maxed. It would be profitable for me to scrap. Now I just got to get it 33 more levels. And one annoying thing with higher tier ships for G4, G5, etc., the amount of ship XP you need is annoying. It is very, very annoying, the amount of ship XP you need to get these things upgraded. But congratulations regardless. Alrighty. How big does a protector need to be to have a chance to be Loot Goblin? Tier 1, as long as you did the mirror research. So there is a research that the NSEA needs to fight Loot Goblins, and then I just have one of it. Like, I have level 1. Wrong one. I have level 1 right here. Just that alone makes it good. Just that alone makes it good. Yeah. Use Latinum, don't have enough. And before you say, hey, I see how much you have, if you remember, Scopely gives content creators a package every month. That package hit me this morning. But if you remember, what I do is I get rid of the Latinum. Like, I dump it. I don't keep the Latinum because I feel like it gives me too much of an advantage as a player. So the Latinum I have, I'm going to get rid of. The main way that I get rid of it is I just go into my alliance and I sit here for a long time doing this over and over and over and over and over. It's terrible. It's annoying. But I feel like the amount that Scopely gives content creators just gives me too much of an advantage to regular players. So at the moment, I do have Latinum, but I dump it. That's just what I do. Doesn't make anybody else not doing that bad, but I get rid of it. So this month, the package was like 30 million Latinum. I'm not keeping that. I'm going to dump it all because I was at earlier, 2 weeks ago, it was like 6.9 million Latinum, which was hilarious. And as I've done all my upgrades, all my away team missions and events, I've been working it up. And again, it just keeps me, because it's not even about integrity burning Chronos, because it's not like I'm refusing to get the free battle pass they give me and stuff like that. It's just, I want to make sure that I never lose the struggles that regular players go through. And if they're just giving me Latinum, then how am I going to experience the struggles? Like if I can just afford to get a Sanctus with Latinum, how am I going to experience the grind to get a Sanctus? Right? So I just removed that ability for me to have it. Yeah, that's just how I play. Yeah. Dark Torch says you need it. Well, of course I need it. But that's not the point. The point of me needing it isn't the point. The point of me needing it as a content creator is what's best for me relating to the community. So you can use it to level ships. You're right. But here's the thing. If I use it to level my ships, then what happens? Then I don't have the experience that everybody else has to go through of leveling ships, which is incredibly annoying. Hitting the hostile limit because you left a ship in Texas space all the time and you hit the hostile limit, now giving you the struggle of completing events. I want to be able to experience what everybody's experiencing. So I dump a lot of the things. That includes having to level up ships. It's annoying. It's terrible. And I want y'all to know that I know it's terrible because I do it. Does that make sense? There you go. Random question. Can you still even get the pattern disruptors for the combat research from the assimilated hostiles? Can't seem to get any from hostiles in the Zatalis area. The combat disruptors. So that would be, if you're wanting for those researches, those Borg assimilated researches, that's up here. And yes, they do still drop. Now, I don't know. I guess I could look here inside, but the earlier systems do. This one does not drop those. This system, I know the beta sector just does because I actually had to show this to somebody the other day. So, spending Latinum is what we convince you to do to get your Tribune. You're right, Yaxum. But here's the thing. The Latinum that you made me spend was the Latinum I earned because I got rid of the content creator pack Latinum. So that's why it was so painful, Yaxum, when y'all on Twitch convinced me to get that, because that meant I had to go through all the Latinum that I've been earning. So that's that. Again, I want to be able to feel the pain points of this game as a content creator. Doesn't make it the right method, or everybody else needs to follow my method. That's just what I do. But yeah, I used all my Latinum, and that was painful because for like the next month, I didn't have Latinum for things. But it was fun, and I got my Tribune and had no regrets. So, all right. Random question from Rodent. Can you still get... Oh, I just answered that one. My bad. My bad. Hope you're well. Thank you, Demon Chris. I'm a little confused. What does the 6-year pass give you if you've already claimed all the rewards? The Demon, you're simply getting to double up. If you've already done it the first time and bought the first time, buying the 6-year bonus pass lets you get everything again. So you're going to double up. Where do you buy blueprints with Latinum? Your faction store. Oh man, JB's not been at all my streams. It's okay. Most people aren't at all my streams. For those that don't know, you can convert Latinum into faction credits. It's a 50-to-1 conversion. So 50 Latinum to 1 faction credit. The only way to do it, though, is you have to have a deficit. So, for example, I'm just going to pull up the Enterprise A. Enterprise A, you need 16,000 per. If you did not have this, why did I click that? If you did not have it, it would bring up a menu. Do you want to use Latinum to make up? Do you want to use Latinum to make up? That only happens if you're in a deficit. Do not accidentally click things like Rev. He's an idiot. Do not do that. Thankfully, I have 560,000 Federation credits, so that's not too painful. But ow, that hurt. But if you have a deficit, let's just say that you have 1 faction credit. If you click this chest, it will then say, do you want to use Latinum? And if you have the Latinum, then you can do that. Yeah, so, yeah. I've got like 750,000 of each, so that's why I don't see it. You're welcome. Yeah, so if you have a surplus, like for right now with me sitting at 53, I'm not spending faction credits on anything. I've been building mine back up. So I'm not sitting at the deficit that I was when I was going after the Vorcha and everything. But yeah, you can absolutely take advantage of that. I'm going to try to get a little bit of it back here with my messages. But it only works if you have a deficit. There isn't any window that you can just do an exchange. I do think that could be a valid suggestion to Scopely, like, hey, make an actual exchange window for me to use Latinum on. But, yeah. Yeah. You talk to the devs about ascending 709. I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody else, Eric. Hit me up, not on stream, on Discord, because I'm just simply not going to remember from the stream. But message me on Discord or Facebook, bring it up to me, and then I can talk to them about it. Okay? When you go to 56, will you get all 3 of the rares like you did when you did 53? I will for collection's sake, but just like on this account, how I am only upgrading maybe 1 or 2 of them, it'll be the same way there. So like I do have all 3, like you can see them on the screen, but the Corvus does not get upgraded. The Corvus sitting at tier 1, level 5, and I have no desire to take the Romulan battle axe any higher. Not that it's not a great ship. It is. It looks fantastic. It's just anybody out there knows rare ship parts, etc. It's a real pain to try to do multiple ships. So I stopped them. Like the Northcut is not going past tier 5 because that's interceptor rare parts I need for other things in the future, namely Rotaran. So will I get them for ship collection? Yes. Will I be upgrading them and stuff? No. But I will get them because I like collecting the ships. Hopefully that answers the question. All right. Is it a stretch to ask for some of these locks to be removed for the special ships? Yes. While I do, as a player, I get where you're coming from. Getting them to like go back and remove locks. That, yeah, it's a stretch. Just to answer your question. All right. But yeah, Eric, just reach out to me and we can talk about it. And I can see if it's something that we can do. JB, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. Look, it's never required, but if you do want to support the channel and my kids, and all the money you're doing right now is obviously paying our bills, property taxes, yay, America, and presents for the kids, which for those who are interested, I am putting together the Christmas wish list. Historically, the community has bought presents for my kids every Christmas. We then make a video. Last year, we actually had Alex, a Ripper, was at my house, so that was cool. But we'll have that, and I'm working on that list. Again, none of this is ever required. Obviously, my job as a content creator is reliant on people's donations, but please know that if all you can do is watch, that's awesome. Just hit watch and hit the like button. You're appreciated. Thank you so much, JB, for supporting me and the family. Raj says, I'm not sure if I'm going to build the 50 epics now. You are, Raj, because you're a devout follower of me, and I am going to make you do it. So don't worry, you are going to do it, Raj. You are. And I love you. And you're not going to regret it. I love you. All right, Valhalla says, I have both the Sompek and the Sanctus, and I'm really, really struggling not getting the Crozier as you have the reputation and the credits. What I would tell you, Valhalla, is get it. Don't upgrade it, but get it. Why? It's funny that we just got done talking about Platinum to faction credits because a level 69 player reached out to me yesterday and they just figured it out. Like they've been talking to me for a while, but they just missed it and they didn't know. And what did they do as soon as they found out? They spent 250 million Latinum getting all the ships that they didn't have before simply because of collecting. And they told me it's the most fun they've had in Star Trek Fleet Command in years. I encourage people to get new things. That doesn't mean that new thing has to be upgraded or invested in, but just getting something new and something fun is awesome. And that's why I got all 3 of the 53s. And it's why I'm actually going back and I'm working on getting the 50s that I don't have, just because getting these things and, you know, investing in it can be a lot of fun. Now, if you don't care, don't worry about it. But I absolutely love it. I love acquiring new things. You know, heck it. Oh gosh, y'all got me tempted to spend this Scopely Latinum on this Enterprise A since I already made one mess up. But anyway, yeah. Anyway. Oh man, temptations. Darlu says it's a nice resource sink for resource spend, even saying this is an Option 4. This is also true. This is also true. It's also true. Law knew as soon as I said it, people were saying do it. How are you doing, McLovin? Good to see you. Get the Enterprise A. The thing is, though, I get the Enterprise A, it has no purpose, right? Like, I don't need an Enterprise A. It's simply for pleasure. It's a pleasure craft. I don't need it at all. I just want it because, well, look, I don't know how everybody feels about the Kelvin movies. There are a lot of people, especially younger people like me, who love the Kelvin movies. I know some people don't. But in terms of ships, the Enterprise A is one of the best looking things to come out of the Kelvin movies, in my opinion. I love the Enterprise A design. It is gorgeous. I do. I like it. I know not everybody has to agree with that. That's fine. I love the design. So I want it just because it looks freaking cool. So that's what I'm going to do. However long it takes me, I'm going to get it. You'll want to scrap it eventually? Nah. I mean, I'm not saying I don't scrap ships. I'm working on scrapping an ISS Jelly, but I only typically scrap my second version of a ship. And that might be weird to many of you, but I like having my ships. I mean, I like being able to say, hey, I got this. For example, I have scrapped a lot of Enterprises. Oh, they still haven't fixed this one. Oh, my Lanta. All right, well, I'll tell you what, the Enterprise A certainly looks better than this, but I have it. Gosh, is it just this? Can I do a refit that makes it not look ridiculous? Thank you. I just need something that doesn't look stupid. Anyway, just having it. I want to have it. Oh, I just want it to exist, right? Oh, gosh. Anyway. Acom says, since you're doing that as something that most players wouldn't do, why not use your CC lat for that? It's not like it's going to give you an advantage if you never level it, use it. I mean, there's logic to what you're saying, and I'm probably overthinking it. Call me the STFC masochist. I just always want to make sure that my experience is your experience. And an example of that is right now, I can tell you that I free-to-play grinded every level 53 ship. I went through, I did the work, and I can tell you how hard it was and how easy it was. Like what made it easier, what made it a pain point. And that is an experience that sticks with me. And the same thing with the 34s. I had the Enterprise, the Augur, and the D4. Right? So, I don't know. It's just about an experience thing. You're probably right. And my brain, which has a little bit of the spectrum in it, tends to overthink things. And we might. You know what? Stream tonight. Y'all come by the Twitch stream and maybe we will. Let me think about it during the day. Let me think about it. And Twitch stream tonight. Maybe y'all can force Rev to blow the CC Latinum on random things. Rev got a little tism? I do. Yeah, I absolutely do. And I have no issue. I mean, if the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, can have autism, well, hell, why should I be ashamed of being on the spectrum? My son is autistic. So, yeah, is what it is. But it definitely is. Being neurodivergent, I can tell, even talking to y'all, I view things very differently than y'all can. Anyway. Rev is telling me to get a Crozier. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm saying it because it's fun. A weird concept, but it's fun. Ian says, I'm a ship collector and just need the ships sitting at 38 and can't wait to hit 40 to start getting G4s. Well, your first one there is going to be your miners at level 40 if you're into those, and then your 42s. And I still recommend at least getting the Valdor, for sure. All right, Fenrir says, Rev, settle dispute for me. Is Dr. Tiana better below deck or as a bridge officer? I think she's arguably the best state officers. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying there. And with the Nova Squad research, or is she better below decks? So let's have that discussion. And so everybody can reference her. I'm going to bring her up on the screen. Here's Dr. Tiana right here. Now I have her on my level 57, but I don't have her here. So officer ability that you're referring to is on round start. Dr. Tiana has a 40% chance to apply a random state to the enemy player's ship for 3 rounds. So whether it's burning, morale, or hull breach. Then you have bedside manner. Starve around against players increases your isolated defense by 50% for 1 round. So my first thing here would be, what crew are you trying to run it with? Are there crews that I could make to run that with? Yes. However, one of the main things that you're going to think PvP wise is Carol Freeman. Because synergy, right? You're going to be synergizing Carol Freeman's ability. However, Carol Freeman does need this, and you can benefit with that. The drawback is, if you are running Carol Freeman, Honor Guard, Worf, Lorca, what if the ability that procs, so in this case, you would replace Lorca, right, with Dr. Tiana. If you're running Dr. Tiana, what if she doesn't give you hull breach? You would still get the benefit of Carol, but now your Honor Guard Worf creating a critical is not getting that extra oomph. So what I'm saying is the RNG cannot guarantee you that you get what you need. Now, I will add one caveat to this. If you are running Mirror Team, and then you have a second team of Carol Freeman, but you've taken Honor Guard Worf off or something, then running Dr. Tiana with Carol Freeman can be beneficial just to build a second PvP crew with Carol. But since you can't control what it is exactly you're getting, I am of the mind that her below deck ability is better. That doesn't mean her officer ability can't be used. It's just because it is a truly random state, you don't know what you're getting. And it also should be pointed out that 40% RNG in Scopely land can mean 10 fights she doesn't do anything. That's really annoying. So, let's say 10 rounds she might not do anything. Odds of her doing nothing in 10 full fights are pretty low, but I wouldn't put it past Scopely. Anybody that's experienced the 30% RNG of the go home gun for Zindi can tell you, you don't trust these numbers, right? So, because of that, I tend to prefer her below decks. If you are using a mirror loadout, so for example, Mirror Picard, Mirror Data, Honor Guard Worf, then yeah, go ahead and use Carol Freeman, because Carol Freeman is still a strong fighter in her own right. Use Carol Freeman, Dr. Tiana up top, and fill up that third spot with another PvP officer. It can be a variety of different things. More value to me is in the below deck, but if you have the mirror group and you want to keep using Carol, that is an option. So, yeah, Antana is exactly right. 80% chance to get the 30% chance gun to activate. Amen to that. Oh, man. Amen to that. Pseudo says, since her bridge ability is random, I don't like it. Also, 40% is quite low for 1 to 2 round fight. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Now, if you are out there and you've got a high tier Dr. Tiana, because she maxes out at, we'll just pull her up on STFC.space so everybody can see her levels. Dr. Tiana, and let me put this on the screen just because everybody likes to be included. Q-snap. So, you see she maxes out at 100%, but she has to get, to me, at least tier 4 to get super viable in terms of using her in this way. That's just my opinion. Below deck ability tiers up faster and is more applicable, especially at low tiers. Just to have a reference, let's just use Neelix and talk about percentages. Neelix at tier 3 is at 75%. And then down here, 60% in the burning. So, when we're talking about RNG abilities, a lot of people say Neelix, Lana Torres, Harry Kim need to be at least tier 4 before you can rely on them. And that's kind of the same thing with Dr. Tiana's officer ability. You need it to be tiered up to really rely on them. And I get where you're coming from. Maybe you have a high tier Tiana, but I'm definitely in the lower deck crowd in terms of where I find her most valuable. Yeah. On that go home gun, I've observed that any enemy Zindi over 9200 in reward size is an automatic go home gun. I have not observed that, but yeah, I've not. Certainly something we could always try to test out. Raj says, if you have a higher tier Tiana, you should also have better officers, so still meh. It's true, which is why I brought up the using secondary, tertiary PvP crew type thing. Like, even if you had a tier 5 Dr. Tiana, if your best crew was Carol Freeman, Honor Guard Worf, Lorca, you would not put Dr. Tiana on the deck. I just don't think you would, right? You want to have that critical hull breach combo. That's just me. And then obviously Carol's already getting the state that she needs from Lorca. That's just how I see it. Now, Fenris, if you want a counterpoint, more than happy to read your counterpoint. So. Well, Darush, yeah, your BLT and Neelix do not work in PvP. I was more talking about percentages and how they proc and when things are determined as being valuable. Your counterpoint is the Nova Squad research. All right, I think I've done pretty well with my Nova Squad. It's building 31. However, let me go in here and we'll use your counterpoint. Here's Star Path. So I've done 3 of the shield repair for morale. I've done this for burning, so that's 9%. 9% for morale, and then 16% for hull breach. So hull breach I'm already going to get if I'm using Lorca, so I'm getting that one for sure. But again, she's picking a random state. Lorca, I know what I'm getting. This. Tiana maybe gives me this. Maybe she gives me this. In the wildest scenario that, everything perfectly lays out, like I've got great research here and she just happens to hit the perfect procs. Yeah, it's, think of Dr. Tiana's ability here as like her own version of critical. Sure, if she got the most perfect launches in all the different ways, maybe in one match, you'd put out more damage than you normally would. But realistically, no. That would not make me choose her. That's just me. How high should I take the Selkie? I jumped from 60 to 62. What's the first things I should focus on? I would argue, and if anybody G6 here wants to chime in, I would love that. I argue it's not about how high you take your Selkie. It's about how many Selkies you have. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't tier up the Selkie, but I'm saying one tier 10 Selkie, sure, great warp range and stuff, but what's more important, having 5 Selkies. G6 players that are here in the chat, feel free to jump in. I think minimum 2 Selkies. Minimum 2. Warp range alone being the reasoning of why you want them. And I say that as somebody who hates mining, but I think it's more about having multiple Selkies than it is about having higher tier Selkies. Yeah. It's similar to, remember, for those of you who did G5, remember the Nova, right? For those who aren't there yet, I always, if you've followed my videos, I always encourage people getting a Nova. My Nova to this day is still only tier 3 because the Nova is good immediately. Why is the Nova good? For similar reasons to why the Selkie is good. Warp range. The Nova comes out of the dock with great warp range. Now, there are drawbacks to the Selkie. The Selkie is made for G6 mining, so it does not have great cargo, protected, etc. But that can be tiered up and worked on. But I think having, say, 4 Selkies at tier 3 is better than 1 Selkie at tier 8. Right? And you're right. Nova protected cargo is not that great. Absolutely correct. It does have good overall cargo. But the main benefit is the same. If you're, level 51, you're wanting a Nova because warp range. If you're going into G6, you're wanting a Nova because warp range. And then eventually dealing with hazards, right? So that is why you want multiple Selkies. I think I said Nova in G6, but Selkies in G6. Yeah. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Emilio. Appreciate that. Mr. MD says tier 6 and has 2 at tier 4. Pseudo says tier 2, maybe tier 3 Selkie, but 2 or 3. I do want to point out that Darius puts out a good point that once you keep going up in G6, your warp range requirement will get further, and you need tier 4 to get to that 1200 range. But if you're just going to, like you just hit 61, just getting multiple Selkies out to me is the goal. Multiple Selkies out. And that reputation level is, gosh, I don't remember my reputation levels. Was it 18 bill? I don't know. I feel like I'm off there. Somebody can clarify the reputation level. But anyway, I think if I'm telling you, it's 17, 18 bill, right? Something like that. 16 bill. Thank you, Darlu. I knew it was right after the 15 bill lock. So 16 bill, something like that. I would say try to get 2 of them ready to go as soon as if you're planning on going into G6, hitting 61, try to have 2 ready to go. All right, so we got an answer for 17, another for 16. I know it's somewhere right past the 15 bill requirement. So there you go. Do we skip G5 faction miners? No, but I don't invest heavily in them. As in, I know that we talk, so I talk all the time about the 579 method for faction ships. But that's only warships. I don't really believe in taking miners very high. I don't. It just doesn't provide much value to the game to me. So I think the highest that I've taken a miner is I've taken my G3 miners to like tier 8 with the warp range fault. And then my Hydra, I think, is tier 5. And my Nova is tier 3. I just think the only reason to really upgrade a miner in the game today is if you need more warp range. That's the only real reason to upgrade a miner in the game, is you need better warp range to get somewhere. You know, the protected cargo, there are, what, 8, 9 protected cargo officers in the game. You can always make your protected cargo higher. There's a ton of researches for it. The mining speeds no longer really matter that much because of all the researches that exist. It's mostly warp range. And that way you're saving the uncommon, the rare, the actual platinum, the tritanium. You're saving all that to go into other functions. All right, let's go smack this as I'm farming these while we're doing our stream. Appreciate everybody being here, by the way. Hit the like button. There's 400 people here, 89 likes. Appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. And also have to say a tremendous thank you to Ross. Ross donating to the family fund. Let me put that in, Ross. Thank you so much. This is very generous of you. I greatly appreciate you supporting me and my family. Let me make sure it's saved. Okay, it's saved. And also have to say another thank you to Adam as well, donating to me and my family. Both of you, thank you very, very much for supporting me and my kids. I'm putting it on the board now. I don't want it to get lost. And we always actually put a tracker in. I like to show my wife and tell them, because we're very appreciative of that. For those who've been around a while, y'all know that we have a wall of fame in our house of all the people who helped us get the down payment to the house. So very much appreciated. This is never going to be a stream where we take you for granted. So thank you to both. And yeah, I will see you next Wednesday as well. You could come to the Twitch stream, sir, if you stayed up all night. All right, more questions, more thoughts. The stream started 69 minutes ago. Haha, just like my mess hall. I'm around 30 bill rep for 2 factions. What level do the Selkie shards appear? What level are you, Dusty? I feel like you're low. Dusty, aren't you a lower level player? I feel like I just looked at your account. Where are you at, Dusty? I'm gonna scroll. Oh, nope, that's not it. I have your chat still pulled up. I thought I had your account somewhere. But it shouldn't matter unless you are really low. There might be like a G4 lock. But you should be able to see it. I hate to use the word immediately. I can't show it on here because I've not pushed rep. But just like the Nova, you should be able to access it in upper G5. So for me, I was getting Nova VPs at 49, 50. And I think it's similar to the Selkie. I think it's 59 or 60. But there's not like a G4 lock. Oh, you're level 57. Okay, so yeah, 57. I think it's 59 or 60. You'll see the Selkie, but you don't have to actually be in G6. But you do have to be closer to the range. Europe and stuff. I know, man. And I appreciate you being here. It's why I try to run streams on Sundays and Wednesdays when I can that are more EU time friendly, because, well, y'all deserve to get your voices in. So, do servers ever ascend during a battle pass? 708 thinks this could be the week otherwise. I mean, servers ascend when Scopely decides to flip a switch. Like, I hate to be that guy. I sound like I'm hating on them, but it is the truth. They happen whenever they happen. And there is no consistent, this is when it always is. It has definitely happened in the middle of battle passes before. Just like they have done mergers right when, territory reset is either right after it happened or right before it happens. Like, the consistency is very inconsistent. I think many of you have gotten used to that here in the game. Yeah. I think many of y'all gotten used to that being a thing. Again, if y'all are on a server that you believe needs to ascend for whatever reason, whatever level, feel free to reach out to me on Discord or Facebook, and I'll be more than happy to try to look into that for you. So, let's see what other comments and questions. And thank you, Bruce, for smashing the like button. Greatly appreciate it. All right, just don't want to miss anybody. Trying to get as much as I can. In G6, you use the G5 miners for cargo, for G5 mining and token systems. Noted. That is true. What James Bond was, if y'all remember James Bond, who we did the interview with, who's at level 62 and is a player that has only got $40 spent on their account. He had, I think, 2 Selkies and 4 Novas. I think that was what it was. I don't know if he's out there listening. I'd have to go back and check a look at the account, but yeah, similar strats. There you go. How many G5 epics would you recommend getting before going into G6? And would that include cube up to level? So, short answer, I recommend getting all of the G5 epics. In terms of how many would I heavily invest in? 1. Possibly 2, depending on what type of player you are. And by heavily invest, I mean at least tier 6, so that yes, you can upgrade your board cube. So, that's what I would do. Now, I'm going to get all 3 of them. And the 2 that I'm going to upgrade the most are the Rotaran and the Enterprise D, because my childhood nostalgia. The Dadair deck's also viable, but I'm going Enterprise D and Rotaran, but I will build all 3 of them. I will build all 3 of them. Are the Nova or Selkie skins worth the investment? My personal opinion, Brad, no. Somebody in chat might have a different opinion, but I go, I don't believe they're worth it. I don't believe they're worth it. Thank you, Gary, again for supporting the channel. Greatly appreciate y'all helping me and my family out. Thank you very, very much. Hopefully I'm able to answer all of your questions. But remember, if I'm not, I'm gonna do the annoying plug. Discord. I'm always on Discord every day, and it's on my phone. So Darius says, arguable, the Selkie skins are nice, but not a must-have. Here's my opinion on things like the Selkie skins. And I guess we can bring them up on the screen and take a look at them. I believe that if you are a player that is part of the initial run, and what I mean by that is you're like one of the first G6, or you're willing to go into those areas, you do need the skins. If you are one of those players who gets there, you know, 2 years later, like let's just say that you get to G6 2 years after it rolls out. Do I think those skins will have the value for you? No, I don't. Because I know they're at the top, Red Nass. I like looking at the skins. Nova ones are right there with the Selkie ones. But I think that these things are only ever valuable for players who are going into that area of the game when it's still new. Right? If you are what I would call an average player, free to play or a light spender, meaning you're not going to get up into G6, or in this case, even, well, I would say even G5 now, but you're not getting into G6 within the next 6 to 12 months. I don't really feel like this is going to matter because all the other things are going to get added in, research, favors, that are going to give you the bonuses that this has anyway. Now, if you just think it looks cool, which I would agree with, which is what Pseudo says, sure. But like, just like today, I don't have this on my Nova because I don't need it. So many researchers have come out, buildings that bonus to your mining speeds, etc. I don't need any of these skins. Same logic. Now, when Novas first came out, when G5 first came out 3 years ago, these were pretty important to have because you wanted to mine faster and it took forever with the amounts that you needed in G5. But do I believe they're needed? No. If you are a player who is in G6 over the past year, you absolutely would have benefited from having it. I don't feel like they're needs. And the longer it takes you to get to those areas of the game, the less likely it is you're going to need them. That's just my thought. The BPs for the skins are expensive. They take hazard particles and you need them for research. Yeah, I'm just of the opinion there are better things to spend resources and time on. Did you get your Section 31 Talio skin yet? Oh yeah, I got that months ago, Kal-El. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at it. Is it not the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen? It is beautiful. Now I'm working on the same thing for the Defiant. Working on the same thing for the Defiant and also just farming these hostiles for the NX-01 while we've been sitting here. So I'm working on the Defiant one and absolutely love those skins. And I'm getting those completely for vanity. I do not care about any bonuses those skins provide. I'm getting them because they look like they're from Tron and they're gorgeous. All right, let's go ahead and dump into those and dump more into these. All right, other questions and comments? Appreciate y'all. Y'all been a very lively, active crowd today, but bring in a few more. We got them. We got them. Let's see. Don't want to make sure I'm forgetting anything. Matt says I got them last week. They look pretty and I don't need the stuff for research. So Matt, I would say this. You don't need the hazard stuff for research yet, but know that it's coming, right? All I'm saying is don't get caught by surprise. I'm not critiquing you and saying what you did was wrong. Just saying don't get caught by surprise. Hazard research is coming and it is important. It is important. All right. Oh, you got the Nova skins. Okay. Okay. I thought you were saying that you were like 61 and you got the Selkie skins. I was like, hey, cool. Just letting you know it's a coming. It's a coming. All right. Your thoughts on trying to have all 3 states on the ship, whether it's PvE or PvP? I think it's a great idea if it is reasonable. What do I mean by reasonable? If you've only got 3 below deck spots, I would not sacrifice Hugh or Nurse Chapel to have the chance of Harry, Kim, BLT, and Neelix all proccing, especially if they're not all maxed here, right? But if you've got, say, 5 below deck spots or 6, Yeah, I mean, you're creating a way to give you the most damage possible. But don't buy into that as like the end all be all is what I'm saying. Yes, valuable, but not everything. All right. Superhighways alone are 100,000 K hazards. It's a lot. Yeah. I haven't even finished my superhighways down here. Not that I really need them, which actually goes back to kind of my point. The longer you take upgrading this game, the more that you spend time, playing at your own pace, the less you might need things. I still say that if you get into the 50s at level 53, should you get the highways? Absolutely. But as I showed in my video a few weeks ago, I'm not really saving that much time anymore because there's been so many things added to the game. Power creep creates a lot of things, positive and negative. And one of the positives has been you don't need as much when it comes to warp times, but it's still nice to have those. If you're in G6, you absolutely need them. Who would you put on the lower decks first? Troy for critical damage or Kim for the morale, assuming max tier for both? Ooh. How far in your star charge research are you? Because if you're pretty decent in your star charge research for isolate damage and the shield repair, I would go Kim. If you are not, I would go Troy. Depends on how deep into that research you are in that research tree. Was trying to look at the credit cost for unlocking the Nova, but wasn't able to find it. Could you tell me or tell me where to look? Well, I actually can tell you because in my Fleet Command announcements channel, oh my goodness, Rev's got another Discord plug. What an evil guy. He won't stop talking about that evil Discord site. But anyway, if you go into here, you scroll up a little bit, I put out this chart, which is going over the cost of what you would save for the favors. It's like if you got the new favors in the Terran Empire, but it actually has the raw cost here. You can go ahead and check it out. So, for example, the Nova is 450,000 credits. If you want to time that into Latinum, just multiply that by a factor of 50. But there you go. So this shows you the cost of the ships and also what the cost is after you get the favors, depending on what percentage you got them at, but what you get with the favors. So there you go. It is in my Discord. And I just showed you. So, yay, Rev. All right. Don't forget FC Kirk morale crit damage research for Kim. Good call out, Bruce. Look, I said it before. Even the content creators, we do this game every day, all day. Even we struggle to keep up with the 3 million things in this game. A good call out. All right, let me finish doing all these pulls. I'm not ignoring chat. Just y'all know how it is. You got to get these pulls in. There's so many of them. So I'm not ignoring y'all. I just need to actually do my pulls because I don't want my timers to be super cattywampus. So give me just a second to click through all these things. We do got to do Cerritos today. Don't let me forget. I'll have to do that tonight on the Twitch stream. Do my Latinum pulls. Probably should have saved that, but oh well. We're doing our Latinum dump tonight. Whether y'all make me get a ship or we just do a regular Latinum dump, we're doing that tonight. Do Syndicate pull, of course. We just get my refineries in, chat. And yes, believe it or not, I gotta go through the same clicks all of you do. It's pain. All right, I gotta go do Voyager summoning today. That's a thing. Gotta make a list of all the things to catch up on. Let's see what we get in here. Hey, that's a pull. Absolutely. Thank you, RNGesus. Well, yes, sir. Thank you for the red matter. That was heckin' nice. All right, let's come back over here, get more emblems. How you doing, Falcon? Good to see you. At least you get the opportunity to use cattywampus. I have been saying that a lot lately, haven't I? I think as I age up, I'm naturally saying more old people things. It's just becoming part of who I am. Can't wait for the tournament store. Same. Tournament store has some good stuff in it. There's some very good stuff in it. All right, get that pull in. There's some epics. Nice. Go ahead and, oh, wrong pull, but sure, we'll take it. All right, let me just go. Is Lawrence Edge and Stubborn Defense and Bajoran Favor still not good to get? At this point in the game, Dustin, I would say get them. The benefits they had of waiting on them have passed, so I wouldn't hold off on them anymore. If you can, just go ahead. All right, let me go ahead and do these pulls. Get more of my artifacts. I love the artifact system. So I pull my pulls here religiously. Get those in. I think that the last one I needed to do? NX01. Yep, good on that one. All right, now we get back into chat. All right. I've gone 47 to 50 this month thanks to a combination of your advice and this month's choice rewards. When can I start getting 5-star mats? So level 50, there are a couple of ways you can get 5-star mats. Number one, the daily leaderboards that happen. So not these events, not these, but in the actual daily bucket, those leaderboard events will pay out G5. And you have like your 30-day chest. You can't get a ton of G5, but you can start earning G5 in those ways. Yeah. You just finished your last Cerritos research. Congratulations. Any chance the whip will be in the tournament store? Is there a chance of things like that happening? Yes. Am I telling you it is? No. But those are the type of things that myself and others will continue to advocate for, believing it is a very important part of the game for all. Let me go ahead and do a triple pull here. How much does that bring me up to? I think I'm 1 day away. I think tomorrow I can pull my G5 Innovative Engineering. Right? I think tomorrow I get that. I have to double check the math, but yeah, sweet. And then he's probably going to be a focus. That one's going to be a good one. And then also Giorgio's crown, need to work on unlocking that. Plenty of things to go after. Plenty of things. You did yours today. Nice, Anton. Congratulations. Congratulations, Anton. All right, let me see. Just try to get another one. Did that question. Actually at home to catch us live, playing hooky. Well, glad you're playing hooky, David. I hope you're having a good time. All right, got that. Okay, I think I got all those backup questions. Good. Good. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all being here, by the way. Let's see. What time are you on Twitch? I'll be on Twitch doing our War Thunder stream in approximately 3 hours, and then our Star Trek stream in approximately 5 hours from now. But if y'all are not on Twitch, it is definitely a more laid-back, fun atmosphere. So here, YouTube tries to be 100% informative. Twitch is a lot more goofy. I say it this way. If you want to get to know Deuce, come to Twitch. If you want to know Rev, like the professional content creator, come to YouTube. So, there you go. Does the archive remove the Armada refineries, or is it just other refineries and leaves the Armada? You will keep your Armada refineries, Joseph, but it will remove certain things. So if you're maxing out your archive, for example, the Botany Bay, many of you have already seen what it removes, but it won't remove things like your Armada turn-ins. You still have Armada turn-ins once you master, say, the Talios. You unlock Mirror Her, is she good for PvE or PvP? PvP, Domo. Mixing in with your mirror sets, like Mirror Picard, Mirror Data, Mirror Her is a common PvP run that you'll see in a lot of arenas. Will you get G5 Innovative Engineering in Terran when you're already close to G6? Well, I'm not close to G6 now. Are you asking for you? If you are already close to G6, if you're saying that you've already are level 60, I would get the G6 Innovative Engineering. So that's what I would do. All right, let's see. Just made the jump. Pretty brutal. My bracket went to 60. Are you talking about your officer brackets? Yeah, I mean, I'm competing with high-end G5. Now, the good news is, if you're a G5 player, your officer bracket should no longer include G6s. But yeah, they're very, very tough to win. Very difficult to win. Just got to gold 1. I am pushing up. I am not gold 1 quite yet. I am top 10 on my server in the arena, but I am sitting at gold 3. So last Monday, I went 14-1. This Monday, I went 9-5. So I'm slowly pushing up. I hope to hit gold 2 next time around. Ignore NCC 1031. They're on server 17. So I'm actually the rank 10 player in arenas for my server, even though it says 11. We've got that nice leaderboard issue where things are mixed up. So I have credits for a G5 uncommon ship and a Nova. Should I go up or wait and build a G4 epic ship? Personally, Patrick, I would say build a G4 epic ship, but more than that is how ready are you to go? Like, just because you have the materials to get a Vorcha doesn't mean you're ready. Where's your research at? Can you beat the hostiles? One thing that's a measurement tool for me, again, just talking about my playstyle, I want to be able to beat whatever ship I can do it with, which includes a pylum technically. But if I was a G4 player looking to go into G5, I want to be able to beat the silence with whatever my main ship is. So can you take your pylum, corner, or whatever, go in here and win, right? Because you don't want to have to wait to get your G5 upgraded to be able to farm that. If you can do that already, then cool. It's really easy to do with a G4 Epic, like really easy. My Tribune had no problem farming this system at level 50. You can also do that with a pylum, corner, or Newton. It's up to you and what you want to do. I am of the mind, and my recommendation is, I don't say anybody should skip a faction ship. So like if you're at 34, 42, 46, get at least one. That's just my recommendation, but you absolutely can push if you want to, if you've completed all the other things. You're able to hit the hostiles, you're able to partake in the content, then go for it, whichever you prefer. I'm still going to say get the Tribune, but I love the Tribune and I've been super happy with it. All right, Brad says, I'm 450 out of 650 on the Tribune. Should I invest in the G4 Innovative Engineering? So my opinion is, if you're already close to being done with G4, get the engineering that's next up. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't ever get the G4 engineering, because it'd be great for when you're going through the scrapping method. But if you're already at the upper end of G4, then you want to make your job and life easier in G5. That's just how I look at it. If you want to get it for the Tribune, you can. Obviously, that would help out. Remember, we just put up the chart of what that cost goes down to. But for me, I would, if I'm already over halfway to G5, I'm going to work on G5. I just think it's better to future efficiency save than past efficiency save. But we're going to wrap it up for the day because we're at our time. I am open to your DMs, though, so if you need anything, hit me up. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video. As always, I can't say thank you enough. Thank you to those who followed the channel, subscribed, donated, liked the video. Y'all all mean the world to me, and I will see you a little bit later today.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.